Hey guys, Steve with BassFishin Electronics here today to show you the BFE jackplate mounts that we offer. We've got one for the Lowrance 3-in-1 transducer. This will fit the total scan, the 3D, and the active imaging 3-in-1. We've also got this one here for the Garmin. This will fit any GT 54, 52, 56. This will work with all those. We also make these in a port side and a starboard side, so you could run multiple transducers if you wanted to from different brands. And we tried to simplify this with the half moon shape here. This is going to allow you to adjust the angle of your transducer and get the best image possible. The biggest reason that we made these is because customers don't like to drill into the transom of their boat. The only thing you got to do is drill 2 1/4-inch holes in your jack plate and then you're good to go. All right guys, so we're back here at the jack plate. We're going to start working on getting this BFE jack plate mount installed with the Lowrance active imaging 3-in-1 transducer. Just want to go over some of the tools that we're going to need before we get started here. We're going to need a drill set up with a 1/4-inch drill bit. We're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. We're also going to need a Chapman with a Phillips bit in it. If you don't have this, I mean just a right angle, that's just for one screw on the jack plate mount. We're going to need a ratchet with a 7/16" socket on it, a regular wrench with a 7/16. And then we want to have some anti-seize. We're going to put this on the stainless bolt just to keep it from locking up. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to mount the transducer to the jack plate mount. Your Lowrance transducer comes with a pack of hardware. That's going to have these Phillips screws we see down here. There's going to be 6 of them with little lock washers, and that's what we're going to use to secure the transducer to the mount. So we're going to have the cord of the transducer is going to be going towards the front just like that. So let's go ahead and get that lined up and get this mounted. Make sure when you're installing these two, just leave the screws loose so we can get all of them lined up perfect, and then we'll go ahead and go back through and tighten all 6 of the screws. So this is the one that I was talking about. It's going to be kind of a pain. This one's underneath the elbow of the jack plate mount, so we're just going to go ahead, thread that one in as much as we can by hand, and then we can take our angled wrench right here and tighten this up. All right, so we got that one tight. Let's just go back through and tighten the rest of them now. All right, we've got our transducer secured to our BFE jack plate mount now. So now we're going to kind of mock this up. It's where this Sharpie is going to come into play. And guys, every jack plate's going to be different. Every boat's going to be different. Some of you are going to have an 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, so you're going to have a little more real estate to play with. The only time that I've personally run into a problem on an install was on a Skeeter bass boat with power poles or Raptors. There wasn't much room here, so we ended up having to put spacers here. That's the only time I haven't seen it work, but everybody's got a different situation. So on this Phoenix boat right here with this Atlas jack plate, we've got a hook here that's kind of in our way. Ideally, I'd like to have it right there, but we can't because of that hook. So I'm going to come back here, and that's where we're going to end up mounting this. So I'm going to take this Sharpie, mock this up here. And we've noticed we added some drop into the jack plate mount, so we're going to drop well below that jack plate and not have any issues. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Guys, one other tip I want to mention too, before you do drill this, look in there. I mean, we've done a bunch of these, so we know where we can and can't drill. There's a seam here on the jack plate. You don't want to be anywhere near that, because if you're too close, you're not going to be able to get your bolt in there. So just be aware of where you're drilling, and always look before you drill. So now we've got our 2 marks there on the side of the jack plate. I'm going to drill the top hole first. We provide this hardware right here with the jack plate. So you're going to go ahead, take your bolt washer. We use a star washer there just to kind of add some extra security to keep that thing from rotating. We're going to put that in there. And now with that bolt in there, we can kind of use this as a template for drilling and make sure that we're perfectly lined up. So we're going to keep that there. And what we want to do is kind of eyeball this, get this kind of level, and make sure we drill in the middle of this half moon part. We don't want to drill over here to the side or over here, because then we're going to lose adjustability. So now I've got to start there. I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way, and let's go ahead and finish drilling that out. All right, we got our 2 holes drilled. Go ahead, put this bolt back in. Again, bolt, washer, star washer. Some anti-seize, if you got it laying around the garage, go ahead, put that a little bit of that on the bolts there. And that'll just keep your hardware from locking up. Stainless does have a tendency to lock up, so we want to make sure we don't forget that step. All right, guys, so we got our bolts tight here. Just make sure you really tighten those down good. We don't want this to move at all at this point. If you notice, this transducer is at a little bit of an angle. I did that on purpose. I don't want it to be perfectly level while it's sitting here, because you got to take into consideration when you sit down in the seat of your boat, right, you're going to put a little bit of weight back there, and that's going to throw off the angle. You know, there's a coin leveling trick on YouTube. You can look that up. That will let you get it absolutely perfect. I just did it by eye. There's a little bit of an angle, not too much, and that's where we're going to leave it. At this point, all we got to do is run our cable up to our fish finder, and we're ready to hit the water, do some side imaging. If you found this video helpful, please give us a like, subscribe, wherever you follow us on social media. We really appreciate it. Follow the link below, and it'll take you right to these jackplate mounts.